By the time my brother's family arrived, the house already smelt like cinnamon and dish soap. That in-between smell, holiday effort layered over ordinary labor. I noticed, as I always did, how he walked in without looking around, already assuming the space would accommodate him. It always had. My kid hovered near me, excited but careful, holding a wrapped controller someone had given him earlier. He's like that in groups, observant, slow to enter, quick to retreat. People mistake that for something else. The video game was my brother's idea, expensive. Loud packaging. His son tore into it like it belonged to him already. Mine watched. Asked a question about the characters. The kind of question kids ask when they want to join without asking to join. That one's too hard. My nephew said, barely looking up. He wouldn't get it anyway. He's kinda too dumb for this one. The word landed oddly. Not sharp, more casual than cruel. Like it had been used before and worked fine. I looked at my brother. Not dramatically. Just enough to register whether he'd heard it. He had. He smiled, distracted, already reaching for a drink. Said nothing. My kid's shoulders didn't slump. That would have been easier. Instead, he nodded once, like someone accepting a minor scheduling inconvenience, and handed the controller back. He wandered toward the couch and sat down with a book he'd brought, one he knew how to disappear into. I felt something move in me then, not anger exactly. More like a door closing softly. I stood up and started gathering wrapping paper. Folded boxes. Asked if anyone needed more napkins. Helped the way people help when they don't want to be seen thinking. No one noticed. That was the point. Dinner happened. Stories repeated. My brother talked about work stress, about how expensive things were getting, about how lucky he was to have support right now. He said it casually, the way you mention weather. I rinsed plates. My kids stacked them beside me without being asked. That night, after everyone went to bed, I stood in the living room alone. The console glowed faintly, asleep but ready. It sat where it always had, assumed to be shared because it always had been. I unplugged it. Wrapped the cords carefully, carried it to my room and set it in the closet. Not hidden. Just removed from the center. I slept fine. At 9:03 the next morning, while coffee brewed and the house woke slowly, I logged into the account I'd had for years. The one that routed the rent payments automatically. The one my brother never mentioned anymore because it had become part of the background. I didn't hovered. I didn't reread. I selected Unsupport. Confirmed the date, and closed the laptop. 9:03 a.m. felt precise in a way that surprised me, like a receipt. The rest of the morning unfolded normally. Cereal, shoes. My kid asking if we could go to the library later. He didn't mention the game. He didn't have to. Late afternoon, my brother's voice came from the hallway, low and confused. He wasn't angry yet, just disoriented. Hey, he said, stepping into the kitchen. Did you change something with the rent? I wiped my hands on a towel before answering. Not because I needed time, because I needed to stay present. Less, I said. He blinked. I got an email. It says the support ends this month. That's right. There it was. The moment authority enters, not with raised volume, but with inevitability. He laughed once, uncertain. Okay, but why? I looked past him at the window. Snow had started falling, light and uncommitted. I'm not doing it anymore, I said. I should have stopped sooner. His face shifted then. Not rage. Calculation. Is this about something I did? I thought of the word dumb. How easily it had been said, how easily it had been ignored. It's about what I'm willing to continue supporting, I said. And what I'm not. He waited for more. An accusation. A speech. I gave him none. You can't just, he started, then stopped. He knew he could. The system had already told him so. We stood there, two adults suddenly aware of a line that had always been blurred. I need time, he said finally. We weren't planning for this? I understand, I said. And I did. Understanding doesn't require reversal. That evening, the house felt different. Quieter. Not colder, just less assumed. My nephew asked where the console was. My brother opened his mouth, then closed it again. We're not using it right now, he said. My kid didn't look up from his book. When they left 2 days later, the goodbyes were polite. Careful. My brother hugged me longer than usual, like he was checking for something that used to be there. After the door closed, my kid wandered into the kitchen. Are they mad? He asked. They're adjusting, I said. He nodded. Okay. Later that week, I got a text from my brother. It was short, no apology. Just logistics. Rent plans. New budgets, I replied with the same tone. Professional. Calm at night? I thought about whether I should have said something sooner. Whether silence had cost more than it saved, but when I watched my kid explain a book plot to a librarian who listened closely, I felt steady. Power doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it just stops doing what it used to. And the quiet after, that's where you finally hear what matters.